Okay, so the first video that I want to make today is about this book I read called Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. It's a story of how the brand Nike was created. So, Phil had a very privileged upbringing. His parents gave him a good education. He completed an MBA from Stanford, and he had the opportunity to also fund some time off after finishing his MBA. But he had this idea that sports shoes could be a big market in the US. And he found out that in Japan, there were a lot of companies creating sports shoes at a minimal cost, especially one particular organization called the Onitsuka Corporation in Kobe in Japan. And eventually he went there on like a backpacking trip, and some of his father's friends housed him there, and he developed a relationship with this company to send their shoes back to America. That was how the idea was created. He started selling these shoes from his van, and eventually his background was in accounting, so he was an accountant. So he was really good with the numbers. He slowly started creating a following around the idea of this shoe. Um, Especially because there was so much competition from other brands around the world, like Adidas and Puma, who were apparently founded. I mean, both these brands were founded by two German brothers from the same city, and their head offices are, I think, in the same city as well, on two sides of a river. So I learned about some of those interesting facts. But I think the hard thing was eventually he realized that he had to manufacture his shoes and not be so dependent on the Onitsuka Corporation. So they changed their base to Taiwan. For a long time, the sales were not very high, and eventually, I think in the 70s and 80s, the sales really picked up. Some of the things that really worked for them were like bringing on really good shoe designers, like this guy called Sonny Vaccaro, and also their uh, partnership with athletes. So they spent a lot to recruit Michael Jordan when he was not so popular. So that was also like a big part of their success as a brand. Um, I think as an entrepreneur, like in this memoir, they do have a tendency to be, glorifying himself and his journey. I'm sure there must have been, like, at one point this company owed custom duties like 25 million or so. So there were a lot of challenges on this journey, but I think the brand Nike in a lot of ways stands for hope and optimism. And I think that brand image and that global reach is definitely a powerful story to learn about. So, yeah, this is a good book to learn about Phil Knight's journey to create Nike. And a lot of it actually came from his own passion for running when he was a student at the University of Oregon. And his coach really pushed him to run more, and that's where he developed his early passion.